One thing I just adore about the Filipinos is even though they're really shy, they're shy to like meet new people, or they're shy sometimes in conversation, but they're not shy when it comes to eating. You'll walk by a group of people or a family eating dinner outside or whatever meal, and they'll say, "Oi, sisters, kain tayo," which means come eat. And they'll just keep like being super persistent, like, come eat, come eat. And we're like, no, really, we just ate, we're fine. And they're like, no, come on, come eat, sisters, come on. And I love that because that just shows like how much they really love their fellow beings. It wasn't just with missionaries. They would say that to anyone. So in the Philippines, driving there is insanity. The two main ways of transportation, obviously besides walking, are jeepneys and tricycles. So what a jeepney is it's like a huge school bus, but they decorate it and they like pimp it out like crazy. They'll draw whatever they feel like. So you got like your hardcore Catholics that draw like Christ on the cross and like Mary and all these other saints. And then you have like people that are really into basketball. Filipinos love basketball. So they'll draw like all these famous basketball players like in cartoon form. And so it's fun. You'll be standing on the street waiting for a jeepney and you'll like see all these cool designs just going past you. And you'll hear them, a lot of them are blasting music in the main city areas. And they have like this chain that they pull, and when they pull it, this huge horn just blasts. It's like trying to get people to get on their jeepney. And the way jeepneys are, you sit like this, and you're sitting knee to knee to people, and there's no seat belts. There's just a bar here, and you're holding it. So you're like holding that, and you're just like kind of bumping. It's so fun. I love jeepneys. They're like my favorite thing about like going far out to your different areas. And then the other one, tricycles. Tricycles actually are better than jeepneys because what it is it's a little dirt bike, and they attach like a side cart to it, kind of like if you've ever seen the Aristocats. Yeah, it's like that. So you have a little side buggy, and so they fit as many people on as they can. It's so funny, especially in the province areas or like the more farmland areas where there's not as many people and there's not as much traffic. They'll fit like 10 people on one tricycle. They'll pile them like on top and behind the driver. And that was my favorite because we'd be sitting, my favorite spot was behind the driver because I'd be holding on and we're side saddling it. And then we'd just be riding through and he'd be zipping through traffic like crazy. And you're just like, am I going to live? Or my legs going to get chopped off? Because there's all these big rigs coming through at the same time. Filipinos, they love everything with rice, first of all. You just have to know that. Every dish, every meal has rice with it. And then most of the foods, they're all called ulam, which means it's just whatever you put on top of rice. That's ulam. And so they had adobo, sinigang, Bicol Express, caldereta. Oh, halo halo. That's an ice cream dish. That is awesome. Let's see, the best thing I ever ate in the Philippines. Oh, and they have lumpia. Those are really good. I think my favorite food is probably adobo. Most Americans will say that simply because it's just soy sauce and vinegar with chicken, or it could be pork and like potatoes, and it's just, oh, it's so good. It's really flavorful. You can have it sweet, spicy, salty. It's a very simple dish, but it's really yummy. And the craziest thing I ever had. So there are a lot of dishes I wouldn't even touch at all. But before going on my mission, everyone told me about balut. My mom actually made me swear that I wasn't going to eat it. It's basically an egg. It's a duck egg, but it's fertilized. So it's like a baby duck inside of an egg. And I remember, yeah, the first time I ate it, it was crazy. I won't tell the story because it's super long. But basically, we're at a member's house, and the ward missionary said, "Sister Wilson, do you want to try balut today?" Because the member, they sold balut as a living. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think they have it here. And then the member's like, yes, we do. We have a whole bunch. We'll just boil it up right now, and it'll be ready after the lesson. I was like, oh, crud. So I said, okay, fine. So me and my companions had balut, and that was definitely the craziest thing I ever had. Weirdest tasting, oh my goodness, crazy experience. But I did it, and now I can say I did it. My mom was really mad when she found out, but it was a good experience, and I suggest you at least try it, because if you go to the Philippines, you just have to try it. In the Philippines, there's a lot of different languages. All the Filipinos know English, or they like to think they know English. They'll try and speak it to you and whatnot. But the main language is Tagalog, which was in my mission. And all the Filipinos pretty much know Tagalog. It's like the basic language, as if you're here in the United States and English was the main language. They did have, however, a lot of different dialects. So they had like Cebuano, Bisaya, Ilocano, Ilonggo, Waray. It just depends where you served. So you could literally go an hour from my area and you are in a completely different speaking area. But for the most part, we always just spoke Tagalog. I learned a little bit of the other dialects on my mission. The culture is extremely different from American culture. I learned that really fast. Let's say there's a fence or something, you stand outside, and this is what everyone does. They just yell, "Tao po!" And it's just a, Tao means people, and so it's a respectful way of basically yelling, "Tao po, or people, people." And you wait for them to come outside, and then they'll say, "Sino yen?" And then that just means, who's that? Who's there? And one thing you don't do, definitely when you're sitting and eating dinner, if they offer you more, just accept it. They love it when you eat. They're very big on hospitality and giving. That's what they're really known for, is their love and their charity towards other people. And so definitely just accept it and thank them so much for their generosity. You'll come across a lot of different holidays in the Philippines. They are a predominantly Catholic country. So there's a lot of Catholic traditions that they follow. You'll see a lot of saints everywhere. You'll see some things probably that you wouldn't expect. Like we would see parades all the time of just a ton of people walking with like candles, and I'd be like, what is today? What's so special about today? And it's some like Catholic holiday or something. Let's see, Christmas. Oh my goodness, Christmas is huge. So Christmas, don't even plan on buying food that whole week, because they just feed you. You walk around on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, even New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and we'll get to that later, but it's just so much food. I just felt like I ate so much that day. I probably gained like 12 pounds in one day. We would go house to house, and because they're so generous, they're like, "Oh, sisters, we save the best," or, "Oh, come eat this, come eat that." And it was so fun because you're just going around meeting new people that you've never met before. And yet they're inviting you into their houses, and they're like, "Come eat with us. Oh, how's your Christmas?" And we'd offer to share a message after, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. For New Year's Eve and New Year's, you're not going to get any sleep, especially if you're in the city like I was, because there are fireworks everywhere. It's so fun. And they'll go and do fireworks until the point like where they're like getting hurt. Like we saw this one guy, he like did fireworks and it shot into this person's house, and then the next thing we know, like 5 minutes later, there's an ambulance coming and they haul people out, and we're like, oh my gosh. And that was just right across the street from us. Sobrang miss ko kayo. Alam po ninyo kung sino kayo lahat. Mahal ko po kayo. Hanggang ngayon,